Hey, what is going on, you guys? Jay here with Clutch Detailing and Jay's Mobile Detailing. I hope you've been having a wonderful week so far. God bless you. I wanted to go ahead and jump into this video. So I ended up talking with this customer. They want to get their headlights restored. And so I figured better way to go ahead and make a video and show you my process. Now, I'm not going to be using any home products as far as toothpaste or whatever. I'm going to be using what I use. Things that you could pick up even at like Walmart or an auto parts store. So as far as it goes, let me go ahead and show you what I'm going to use to restore these headlights. So here is absolutely everything that I like to use. Starting off with, I'm not going to use a regular clear coat or a traditional clear coat as far as you could pick up like at any auto parts store. I have a leftover 3-year coating, and I'm going to use this with microfiber towel. I love Meguiars Glaze 82 swirl free polish, but I am going to use my F6. You can definitely pick this up again, and all this stuff is going to be linked down in the description below. You could use your hand to apply the polish and everything, but I'm going to use my battery Dewalt polisher. Got blue tape to go ahead and tape off the edges. I'm going to use water to go ahead and give me the lubricant. And then I have 1,000, 1,500, 2,500, and 3,000 grit wet sandpaper, and I have this pad to go ahead and give me some leverage whenever it comes to applying it. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Now, I went ahead and taped it off. I thought I had thicker tape, so bear with me on my tape job. But what I'm going to start with is my 1,000 grit wet sandpaper, and I'm going to go ahead and spray some water on here, some soapy water for lubricity. Spray the pad. And the trick for this is always want to get it or keep it wet. And you just want to go side to side. And the reason why I always recommend go side to side is because you want it to be able, whenever you go through the polishing stage, it's easier to remove any imperfections rather than going like this, or going like this and going crosshatch or whatever. So I always try and go in the same direction each and every time. I'm applying very, very light pressure, but usually 1,000 grit is going to be the longest you're going to be dealing with whenever it comes to wet sanding it, because this is the grittiest sandpaper that I'm going to have on it, and I want to be able to get absolutely everything. And you'll know you're doing a good job whenever you see this like yellowish, orangish kind of goop, and that's the old clear coat. So the reason why it gets hazy is because the old clear coat, due to elements or just anything going on that the car sees, it's always in the sun, especially this one you could tell from the front end, but it's going to start hazing up and breaking down over time. And so a good alternative, if you have this as a package, is just, majority of people are just like, oh man, I gotta buy brand new headlights. No, you don't. All you gotta do is just simply restore them, and it could be a fraction of the cost and everything. So, and something to also be mindful of, you could see obviously these edges, and so whenever I go through it, I always try and just stick with whatever edge I'm trying to tackle. So like if it's flat up here, I want to be able to go flat up here. If it's flat down here, I want to be able to go flat down here. I don't want to be trying to flatten out any type of edge that's protruding like this. I don't want to go diagonally or whatever across it and try and flatten that out. If it's going to start curving right here, this spot, if I'm hitting it from this angle, it'll start hitting it, and then if I want to hit it from this angle, it'll definitely start hitting that top angle on it and still keep that round edge. I don't want to try and damage these lenses, See what it looks like so far. That's exactly what I want it to start looking like. You can definitely feel it on some areas. So like right here, it's a little rough. Right here, it's a little rough. Right here, it's a little rough. And so it's going to look a little foggy, a little hazy like this. Don't worry about it. This is exactly what you want it to look like. And it's going to feel, you want it to feel smooth to the touch because you're trying to remove all of that old clear coat. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into our 1500 wet sandpaper grit. And the only reason we're moving up in grit is because the lower it is in grit, the rougher it is. The higher it is, the smoother it is. So what we're doing is the first initial paper that we're hitting it with, 1000 grit, is very, very gritty compared to the other ones. So right now, as we're removing the old clear coat, we're also smoothing out all the old scratches that we ended up just now applying to this in the process. And all this stuff I got for maybe, if I remember correctly, the sandpaper, the assortment of paper, as well as the sanding block, maybe like minimum $30, which I'll have the link, like I said, in the description of where I found everything at. But you could definitely do this too. And this is exactly how I started. I don't go advertising it like I used to, but it is something that I offer. And just for pricing's sake, I normally charge $180 for the pair. And all my work is warranted. So for the amount of protection that I apply, it's warranted. And if the customer has any issue, then I'm more than happy to come back and correct anything. So that's the difference between me and, you know, whoever else. And you don't have to offer that same service. You don't, you know, if you want to just do this for your own headlights or something. But for me, it's just some people, if they're like, well, that's pretty expensive for you to offer, you know, 180 bucks. I'm just like, well, you can go out and buy brand new lenses for almost twice that. You know, unless you get a good deal somewhere, then, you know, to each their own. But for the most part, I never get complaints on my pricing. Nobody ever gets upset. They're just like, I just want new headlights again. Now we're gonna wipe and see what it looks like. And what you really want is just like an even haze all throughout the entire lens. So let's see if we get an even haze. Now, to go ahead and top off everything, we have the 3000 grit. Now this just looks like a piece of fabric, but this is just kind of more of a polishing, just to make sure it's just ridiculously smooth by the time the customer comes back. Now I will obviously hit it with my machine polisher, like I said, and you could also do it by hand if you want to, but this is just easier for me. If you don't want to do any type of machine polishing, or if you don't want to do any type of, I don't know, like hand polishing or whatever, they have, you know, 5000 grit ones, and it'll do just as good. But I always like to hit it with the polisher and hit it with my compound and everything, just to make sure it gets the job done. Look at that. Now is time to polish. You can kind of see, and you can, man, that is so smooth to the touch. And so I'm not really worried about the tape and everything. It might fling off, it might not, it's whatever. But for the most part, I am just going to hit it with the polish. And you could do this by hand, but because I have a polisher, I am not going to do that by hand because I have a polisher. Look at that. Wow. Night and day difference. Looks so freaking good. So what I'm going to do now is, since I couldn't really get the polisher up here, I have my mini polisher, but I don't think I have any pads on me. So I guess you will see me do it by hand a little bit, especially on this part. But everything else looks absolutely perfect. And so I'm just gonna apply one drop, put it on here, and kind of spread it out a little bit. There you go. And just get the polishing.
This is honestly one of the main reasons why I got a polisher way back when. Because it's one of those, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. I hope some of you get that reference. This is where the customer's like, that's too dang bad. Oh, that one's not that bad.
There you go. Look at that. So now I'm gonna go ahead and remove my crappy tape job off of everything. And voila. And so what I like to do now is I'll go ahead and spray all around and just clean up my mess. Mainly because if they got new headlights, I want the area to look nice. I want it to look at least decent. I'm not trying to detail the car and all, but I want it to look nice for them. There you go. Wow. Now, I know some people may get upset about it, but I do not care. I am not going to apply like a traditional clear coat to it. I have left over a most recent job of my 3-year coating that I just recently applied. And so I'm going to apply a 3-year coating. And the reason why I'm going to apply a 3-year coating rather than a regular clear coat is because one is I'm just not comfortable enough. I'm working outside, I'm working against the elements, it's super windy outside, there's a vehicle right next to me, my vehicle is on the other side of this, and I do not want to get overspray on it. I don't want to tape up the entire front end, don't want to work against the wind. So if you are doing this for your own vehicle or another customer's vehicle, all you need to do is just have something that gives longevity to protection. And that's why I always add a warranty on all of my stuff, especially on this, just because one is I want the customer to have the peace of mind of like, it's not going to start hazing within like the next year or so. So this thing is curing. I already applied it. And so yeah, this whole entire headlight's done, and we're good to go. All right, well, you guys, here are the before and after shots of these headlights. I hope you guys ended up enjoying this video, and I hope that this helps you on your detailing journey, whether it be for other customers or yourself. I hope that this video ended up helping you in your process. But nonetheless, the customer loved it, I loved it, and I got that 5-star review to close out the deal. You guys have a great day. God bless you.